bottom of our hearts for your support and partnership. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. And on behalf of PaxUnity, we are delighted to welcome you today. Thank you for choosing to spend your afternoon with us, for appreciating the beauty and power of words. Please note that we will have a break, about 15 minutes for our refreshment during the program, and we'll let you know about that. And I would like to begin the program with a poem, Praise of the Almighty. So I'll read a few couplets of that. हर जर्रे में तेरी कुदरत का निशान है मौला, हर जर्रे में तेरी कुदरत का निशान है मौला, हर नफ्स में तेरी रहमत का जहां है मौला. Do we have the translation going on? Yes. Okay. मैं तुझे ढूंढता फिरता रहा आलम भर में, मैं तुझे ढूंढता फिरता रहा आलम भर में, आखिरकार ये खुला तू मेरे दिल में मकान है मौला. फहमो इदराक के पर्दे, फहमो इदराक के पर्दे जो हटे दिल से कभी, तेरा ही नूर हर एक सिमत आया है मौला. कतरे ने जब तेरी अजमत का तसव्वुर पाया, कतरे ने जब तेरी अजमत का तसव्वुर पाया, उसके अंदर भी समंदर का बयां है मौला. अक्ल थक हार के तेरी हकीकत के हुजूर, अक्ल थक हार गई तेरी हकीकत के हुजूर, इश्क का सजदा ही अब मेरी जुबान है मौला. लफ्ज खामोश हुए कलम भी ठहर सा गया, लफ्ज खामोश हुए कलम भी ठहर सा गया, दिल की धड़कन ही तेरी हमद का गुमा है मौला. इफ्ती छोड़ दे खुदी का ये हिजाबी पर्दा, इफ्ती छोड़ दे खुदी का ये हिजाबी पर्दा, जिसमें तू मिट गया वही तेरा जहां है मौला. हर जर्रे में तेरी कुदरत का निशान है मौला, हर नफ्स में तेरी रहमत का जहां है मौला.
A girl stares at her half-lidded eyes in a mirror, wondering if one day she'll see clearer. Maybe one day she'll remember the child, the one who always smiled, without a care in the world, flaunting her hair, embracing the curls, narrating everything, even when she slurred, not fantasizing over random girls. The same little one opens a book, except now the pictures don't seem as magical anymore. Each word is read without sounding it out, and the book makes her snore. Yet she opens it to feel something again, to relive the days when she despised men, to escape the person she now is, and to fantasize over what once was. For all one knows, she'd open it to feel like herself again, to flee the quiet ache that lingers in her chest, pulsing and squirming all the while, seeking solace in a version of herself that no longer comes home.
The brain is an orchestra. Every 60 billion musicians playing a quiet, perfect symphony. Every memory, every step, every thought is a note. And then, in a fraction of a second, the conductor drops the baton. A crash, a fall, an illness, a stroke, and the music stops. They call it the invisible injury, because the bones heal, the scars fade, and the world looks at them and says, "You look great. You look just like you." But inside the map has been rewritten in a language that they don't speak. Inside, a simple grocery list feels like climbing Mount Everest in a blizzard. Inside, it's like a ghost is haunting their own house, trying to fit a square peg soul into a round life, and doesn't belong to them anymore. It doesn't just hit the survivor. The shockwaves ripple outward and it hits the mother, the husband, the daughter, and a friend.
Appreciate that perspective in this creative expression way. So our next presenter is a student from, she's actually in grade 10, and her poetry carries quite maturity and thoughtful depth. She writes with sincerity, a growing awareness of the world around her. Please welcome Pariya Baig.
Hello everyone, my name is Pariya Baig. I'm 14 and today I'm going to be sharing a poem about peace and everyone coming together as the theme of this gathering today. It's called When We Choose to Meet. Peace is not the silence after every argument has disappeared. It is the courage to keep speaking without trying to erase one another. It begins in places where different languages fill the same street. It begins in places where different songs drift from open windows, where traditions are carried across generations like carefully protected flames. Some people pray in quiet rooms, some beneath open skies. Some do not pray at all, but still believe that every person deserves dignity.
Hello everyone, this is Azhar Khan from the Art Center of Ajax, which is San Francis Center. This center in Ajax is known by its culture, its theater, music, and today PaxUnity organized an event, the words across generations. It's a very, very good event. Thank you to PaxUnity who organized this event. And today I covered this event for Aaj News Canada here. I would like to say thank you to all the speakers. I would like to say thank you to all the dignitaries. I would like to say thank you to all the youth to participate in this event. You know, words across generation is a very interesting subject, and I think these type of events should continue. It helps to understand the words across generations, and it's amazing program. So thank you everyone, thank you the organizer, and thank you to invite me to cover this event. This is Azhar Khan from San Francis Center, town of Ajax, Ontario, Canada.
Don't worry, I will.
Art Center. Actually, I think we've renamed it the Ajax Art Center now. I want to thank the PaxUnity organizers for organizing this wonderful event today, Words Across the Generation, and for creating such an opportunity for residents to come and connect and through storytelling and sharing experiences. Events like this help. Oh, sorry.
And I did not want to miss this occasion either. And how many people want Argentina to win? Let's show of hands. Argentina, show of hands. No. Wow, Spain, show of hands. All right. My sister-in-law is Spanish, and she actually warned me. She goes, "You better support Spain all the way through." That's wonderful. I want to first like to begin to thank the organizers of this Word Across Generations of inviting me here to speak today. This event celebrates something that...
It is a collective promise that while your brain is rewiring, your spirit will not be left behind. Like I've said, they call it the invisible injury. They see the outside, intact and whole, and they assume the storm inside has passed. They don't see the energy grid shutting down at noon, words trapped behind teeth, the maps that suddenly look static. A community of support begins right here. by making the invisible visible. Our staff build this safety net by changing the questions we ask. We move past the casual "how are you?" because answering that takes more cognitive energy than we have left. Instead, we say, "I will sit with you in the quiet room, no talking required. I'll remember the details you can't hold on to today." It is a sanctuary built on radical patience, where pauses in sentences are not awkward silences, but sacred ground where a mind is working to find its way home. Where we celebrate the micro milestones, the grocery trip completed, the screen time was tolerated, the step taken, with the exact same roar of applause as a marathon finishing line. To create this community, we must lower the lights and turn down the noise. We create low stimulus spaces where pacing is honoured, where grief for the old self is met with fierce tenderness, and where the new self is welcomed with open arms. We encourage other community partners to join us as we bridge the gap between the medical charts and the human heart. We become each other's memory banks, each other's steady ground. We are the anchors in the fog. So to the survivors and caregivers, the allies, the friends, stop trying to navigate the dark alone. We are building a grid of light. Reach out a hand, pass the quiet strength, share the load, because when a brain is fighting to heal, the heart should never have to fight for a place to belong. So at Bayard, we have amazing talent in our survivor community, and I just would like to finish off by reading a poem that was written by Natasha, who is a young adult survivor, and she wrote it specifically for me to read for you today. Life with a brain injury is exactly this. It's being grateful for what you have while sad for what you miss. It's being grateful for new opportunities to help you grow while feeling uncertain of where your life will go. It's feeling excited for your future while also missing who once you were. It's being grateful that you're still alive while wanting more than just to survive. Life with a brain injury is not what you see in movies. It's not waking up and continuing on with your life with ease. Life with a brain injury is longing for all you have lost and wishing you could rewrite your story no matter the cost. But life with a brain injury isn't all bad, for there are still some moments that will make you glad. Life with a brain injury teaches you to be grateful for everything, for big, for the small, and every little thing. Life with a brain injury teaches you to be grateful for this very moment and to cherish this life and every single component. You don't have to ever be okay with what you went through, but you do need to acknowledge the person it shaped you into. Brain injury looks worse looking in than it does out. It doesn't seem like a big deal until that's all your life is about. Looking in, you see heartbreak, loss, suffering and pain, whereas looking out, you see appreciation, a new perspective, and respect to gain. Thank you for allowing me to share today.
So now I will present to you a poem, and I dedicated that poem to my mother-in-law. She passed away. एक तमाशा है, एक तमाशा है एक सफर के लिए, किसने जीना है उम्र भर के लिए। तेरा जलवा है जलवा हाय करम, जर्रा जर्रा है तेरे गोहर के लिए। इतना मालूम है मैं हूं ही नहीं, इतना मालूम है मैं हूं ही नहीं, अमरे वाकया यही है बशर के लिए। जाने वाले के साथ कौन गया, जाने वाले के साथ कौन गया, जख्म जिंदा रहे महशर के लिए। दिल अगर टूट कर भी चुप ही रहा, दिल अगर टूट के भी चुप ही रहा, आस बाकी है दर बदर के लिए। दर्द की भी एक हद है लेकिन, दर्द की भी एक हद है लेकिन, दर्द बेहद है बेखबर के लिए। और रोशनी मांगती है तन्हाई, रोशनी मांगती है तन्हाई, कोई आए अगर सहर के लिए। अब किसी बात से नहीं मतलब, अब किसी बात से नहीं मतलब, सोच रखी है एक खबर के लिए। वक्त कहता है लौट आओ मगर, वक्त कहता है लौट आओ मगर, राह खुलती नहीं सफर के लिए। और ये चरागा मेरे चमन का नहीं, ये चरागा मेरे चमन का नहीं, रोशनी है तेरे गुजर के लिए। एक तमाशा है एक सफर के लिए, किसने जीना है उम्र भर के लिए। इस प्रोग्राम के बाद
I hope that all the words being spoken today are landing in some way, shape, or form with everyone. I feel like there's a lot of different themes coming across, but the biggest one I feel is connection and community. I'd also just like to take a moment to reflect on this poem as well as what Heather mentioned about brain health and our health and how important it is to look after not only ourselves but the people around us. So the people around us are that shining light in our lives, and it is up to us to maintain those connections. So thank you all for being here.
Yes.
Our next presenter is Fatima Khan. She is a financial services professional and is a dedicated community volunteer. Please welcome Fatima Khan.
Born of heaven, I can't live without my soul. It is the whisper of the stars, the breath of light that fills my chest, not for earth, but from afar. It was born in brilliance divine, before I knew a name of face. My body walks this heavy ground, but my soul still seeks a place. No riches soothe, no words can hold what only silence understands, a longing deep, a pull so bold, to return to heaven's lands. So if I weep without a fount, or smile with nothing near, it's my soul that's the healing tunes that this world cannot cheer. I can't live without my soul. It's not mine to ever sever. It came from light. It longs for skies, and it will rise forever, forever, and forever. I'm going to translate it, and Khalid Aziz has helped me for translation. So, मैं जन्नत से पैदा हुआ, मैं अपनी रूह के बगैर जी नहीं सकती। ये तारों की सरगोशी है, रोशनी की सांस है जो मेरे सीने को भरती है। जमीन की नहीं, बल्कि कहीं दूर से है। ये अल्वाही जहानों में पैदा हुई, इससे पहले कि मैंने कोई नाम या चेहरा पहचाना। मेरा जिस्म इस भारी जमीन पर चलता है, लेकिन मेरी रूह अब भी उस मकाम की तलाश में है। ये दौलत न दौलत सुकून दे सकती है, न अल्फाज थाम सकते हैं, जो सिर्फ खामोशी समझती है। एक गहरी तड़प, एक जबरदस्त खिंचाव, जन्नत के देश लौट जाएगा। तो अगर मैं बेजख्म रो दूं या बगैर सबब मुस्कुरा दूं, तो समझ लो कि मेरी रूह वो नग़्मे सुन रही है जो ये दुनिया सुन ही नहीं सकती, क्योंकि मैं अपनी रूह के बगैर जी नहीं सकती। ये मेरा इख्तियार नहीं कि इसे काट दूं, ये रोशनी से आती है, ये आसमान की प्यासी है, और ये उड़ेगी हमेशा हमेशा और हमेशा। थैंक यू सो मच।
दावे दस्तार पे यूं ही नहीं आया होगा, दावे दस्तार पे यूं ही नहीं आया होगा, तूने कम ज़र्फ़ का एहसान उठाया होगा। और फिर वो कहते हैं कि फराते दर्द की एक मौज के इशारे पर, फराते दर्द की एक मौज के इशारे पर मैं अपनी प्यास को रखाया हूँ किनारे पर। प्लीज़ वेलकम जमीका।
Good afternoon and Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you very much Mr. Salim Baig and his family and his friend who have taken all that trouble to organize such a wonderful event. Although there were challenging moments at the final World Cup going on, and I can see that it's final cases here. Thank you very much for coming here. And unfortunately, one of our great friend, Mr. Arfan Sattar, he met an accident this morning. He could not make it, and let's pray that he recovers the injuries and he'll be recovered soon. Thank you very much. Two ghazals I will be presenting to you. जाने वाले तेरे आने का गुमां आज भी है, जाने वाले तेरे आने का गुमां आज भी है, रूहे बेताब को एहसास से ज़यां आज भी है। मुस्कुराते हुए मिलता हूँ सभी से, लेकिन वो जो एक जख्म था सीने में निहां आज भी है। याद है हम कभी सावन में मिला करते थे, फिर से आ जाओ कि बारिश का समा आज भी है। सर सफेदी से भरा है ये बजा है, लेकिन सलमान हैदर, सर सफेदी से भरा है ये बजा है, लेकिन एक लड़का सा जो मुझ में था जवां आज भी है। जहां मिलते थे खरीदारी नहीं करते थे, वो गली अब भी वही है, वो दुकान आज भी है। वो जो वहशत मुझे मरने नहीं देती है कमर, कोई तो है जो मेरा मुंह से जान आज भी है। और दूसरी गजल है कि अश्क जिस दम मेरी पलकों पे रवां होते हैं, अश्क जिस दम मेरी पलकों पे रवां होते हैं, जाने ऐसे में मेरे दोस्त कहाँ होते हैं। अश्क जिस दम मेरी पलकों में रवां होते हैं, जाने ऐसे में मेरे दोस्त कहाँ होते हैं। इसका मतलब है कि फल देना ही जीवन है यहाँ, सूखने पर यही अशजार धुआं होते हैं। हौसला दिल में हो सच्चाई पे डट जाने का, उनके सर ही तो सरे नौके सना होते हैं। अपनी अपनी मुझे लगती है वो सारी बस्ती, जिस गली में तेरे कदमों के निशान होते हैं। बाज की नजरें भी तलवार हुआ करती हैं, सबके हाथों में कहाँ तीर कमा होते हैं। वहशे दर्द मुझे जब भी डराती है कमर, सच कहूँ आप करीबे लगे जां होते हैं। अश्क जिस दम मेरी पलकों पे रवां होते हैं। जाने ऐसे में मेरे दोस्त कहाँ होते हैं। बहुत शुक्रिया।
Okay. Just wanted to know in the window up there, do we have the screenshot? Okay. All right. So we'll start our program. Thank you, everybody. I hope you had a good refreshment, and you're awake now. You're not sleepy.
Yes, welcome back. So we still have some people going in from the break, and that's completely okay. We're going to begin with our next speaker now. So, Roberta and Walker.
Roberta.
Why poetry matters is why we're here today. Humans have been communicating with some form of the written word since the stylus carved symbols into clay tablets to record the master's barrels of wine and his herds of sheep, business transactions. Many other forms of human interaction followed, and a large chunk of those, since writing began, focused on personal relations. Baby, baby, I love you, I want you, I need you, I miss you, I hate you. Come back to me. Sounds like any number of modern songs, doesn't it? Effective but simplistic. But that is the theme of poetry through the ages, a large part of it. Songs are the earliest form of unwritten poetry, performed by wandering bards and minstrels, oral history to commemorate famous battles, castles and kingdoms, legendary lovers. The words and melodies were passed down through the generations, seldom written down on paper until much later. Songs are poetry set to music. As a songwriter, I've been able to release the music in my poem, or found words to a melody. And poetry doesn't have to rhyme either. Not only does poetry allow inner examinations of thoughts and ideas, but the presentation can be part of the message. Poetry is one pillar of the arts, all interconnected. If you have poetry, you have songs. If you have music, you have dance. These inspire images in art, painting, sculptures, as humans seek to explore, to explain, to beautify their world, and so on to my poem, Artistic Circles. A song is a scene, is a sonnet. A statue is a stage, is a symphony. Words find meanings, paintings offer pictures, music evokes feelings. A ballet flows effortlessly into a beautiful visual animated by the movement of the dance, choreographed to the rhythms of the music. A seamless interaction. Idle notes on a piano inspire an image as poetry flows. From a word to a note to a drop of oil paint set down on canvas or paper for all to share and experience. The interconnection of the creative arts. Rhapsody, watercolor, woodcuts, serenade, eulogy, ode, waltz, haiku, concerto, pun, mural, encaustic, crescendo, tango, hymn, eggshell tempera, and everyone's magnum opus. Sometimes you never know where your inspiration is going to come from for a poem or for a song. It can be something that you wake up with in your head and you write it down quick, grab a piece of paper and get those words down before it goes. This one was inspired in the 90s by a trip on the subway. I've written about well, a little over 30 songs. Some of them are on one CD I ever made. This one didn't make it, I wrote it later. And it's called Geography of Hearts, about connections to the earth, to each other, from space to place, to race to face. Oh, the country's made up of land and spaces, the city's made up of people and places, forests green and prairies golden, or buildings tall with streets all woven. Geography of countries, geography of hearts, geography of colors, that's where connection starts. We come from many places with many different names, but in love of home and family, in that we're all the same. Imagine a guitar here. A trip round the world covers mighty wide spaces, mountains, deserts, and rivers of grace all across the land, from lakes to oceans, trains and planes to keep in motion. Just ride on the subway and watch all the faces, trip around the world can be seen in their races, black and white, brown, red, or yellow, one global view that leaves us mellow. Geography of countries, geography of hearts, geography of colors, that's where connection starts. We come from many places with many different names, but in love of home and family, in that we're all the same. Oh, the black man's blood is as red as mine, and the tears that are shed by the little brown children glisten in my wondering eyes. The soul of the indigenous woman soars on her path to guide while I struggle up mountain roads to find my Jesus. We're so much alike in hopes and dreams and need of love. We're so much alike, our people everywhere. Geography of countries, geography of hearts, geography of colors, that's where connection starts. We come from many places with many different names, but in love, home, and family, in that we're all the same. To God, we're all the same. I said before, this is the last poem, and then he asked me for a little short story, so I'm going to stick that in. Poems can rhyme, especially if you write them for children. Before I die from old age, I hope to get my book of children's stories and poems done, and I want to illustrate it myself, so probably I'm not going to make it, but I'm going to try. This one is called Eat Your Muffin. Would a puffin eat a muffin if you baked it in a fish? Or would a chili canaries make up a better dish? Would a cow eat a muffin if you filled it up with hay? Or would a mix of grass and oats be such a better way? Would a cat eat a muffin if you filled it up with meat? Or would a tuna sandwich serve up a better treat? Would a panda eat a muffin if you filled it with bamboo? Or would he peel the muffin off to have a better chew? Would a robin eat a muffin if you filled it up with seed? Or would a bunch of bugs and worms make up a better feed? Would a mouse eat a muffin if you filled it up with cheese? I think he'd nibble all of it. He's easier to please. So would you eat this muffin I baked specially for you? Or should I add it to my plate and munch the others too? Munch a muffin, munch a muffin, munch a muffin, munch. So I'm going to cram the story in because it runs a little longer, but I'm trying to shorten it. But it's cute. And again, it has a visual, so I'm talking about the interconnectedness of poetry and art and storytelling. My daughter came home from university years ago, and we were standing there looking out on Lake Huron, where I spent 40 years of my life near Lake Huron in Grand Bend. So she learned to swim like a little mermaid. She was looking out, and it was an undertow sort of day, with the waves crashing up on the beach and sucking back, and the lake was brown and sandy and dirty and angry looking. And you can't go in the lake when it's like that. It's just dangerous. It will suck you under. She was looking at it and she said, "Do you remember all those years ago when I was a child? And you warned me about the undertow." And I said, "Yes, water safety." And she said, "I thought you said undertowed." Undertowed? I said, "What did you think it looked like? Did you ever go in? Did that work?" And she said, "Well, no, really. I just would go down there, and if I didn't see the toad, I went in anyway." So thank God she didn't drown. But it occurred to me that might be a good story. So, we have 4-year-old Fiona and So, Fiona was very excited because Mommy told her they were going to the beach at Grand Bend for a whole month, and she was going to learn to swim. It was so exciting. Daddy had to work, so he was just going to come home on the weekends. But the last week of June, Mommy and Fiona loaded up the car and drove to a place called Grand Bend, and they found this pretty little cottage that they were renting. And Mom loved all the stuff inside. Of course, Fiona wanted to just get down to the lake right away because she wanted to see what it was like. So Mommy went down with her, and they raced across the pretty little garden, and there was a boardwalk across the sand, and then we got down to the beach, and there was a wide Lake Huron, as big as the ocean. It filled your entire view. It just went on and on and on. It was massive and gorgeous, and she just stood there with her mouth open for a while. And then she wanted to run in it. And Mom said, "We'll do that later. Let's just get our feet wet. We'll go and do the swimming thing because I have to talk to you about water safety and rules. I don't want you running out there and disappearing in the lake. So let's go in and get all the stuff out of the car. We've got to put it in the fridge, and we've got to fix up your room." Oh, the hours went by, and Fiona was so bored waiting to get back. But finally, she was allowed to put on her bathing suit, and Mom blew up some water rains. And she says, "First rule, never go by yourself. Mommy or Dad always have to be with you when you go down to the beach. Second rule, you always have to wear these water rings when you go down to the beach." And they also had to explore the beach because the beach, Lake Huron, changes every single year. Depending on the storms you've got in the wintertime, it can scoop out this section of the sandbar, and so you go where last year it was nice and shallow, and you fall into your neck. And whoops. And if you're a child, it's a lot deeper than your neck. So you have to have an adult kind of go out every spring and see the depths and the heights and sort of program out where the kids can go in and where the adults can go in and where there are scoop outs. You have to do that. Water safety. And the rest of the week, Fiona started to learn how to paddle around in the shallow. She made sand castles that were just lovely, and she found colored glass and stones, And she made a collection, and she was thinking when she got home she was going to do this art. She could even do some art now if Mommy got her some glue, and she could just glue it to everything, little stones and little pieces of glass, and especially splashing around that wonderful, beautiful lake. But one day, they hadn't been there quite a week, and there was a terrible thunderstorm that night. It just poured rain, and it was lightning, and it was just dreadful. And in the morning, they looked out, and the lake was angry and brown, and it thrashed against and crashed against the shores and sucked back. And Mom said, "Oh dear, we can't go in the lake today. There's a terrible undertow." And then she went back into the kitchen and thought, well, I can catch up on the washing, and I've got to bake some stuff for the weekend. So she got quite busy doing all these other chores she'd been putting off. And she said, why don't you draw some pictures or something? You've got some time in the house now. It's not very nice outside. It's kind of cold and clammy, and you'd have to put on your sweatshirt if you went out anyway. So she starts to draw. And she thought, I wonder what an undertow looks like. So she drew several versions of what an undertow might look like. And when Mommy came through, she said, "See, Mommy, I drew some pictures of the undertow." But Mommy was really busy, and she had all these things to do, and so she didn't really look at the pictures. She said, "Oh, very nice, dear." And she ran someplace else to finish the laundry and to see how the bread was doing in the oven. And then after dinner, she said, well, we can go out and you can get some stones before it gets dark. You've got even time to make another sand castle. And Mommy took a chair and a book, and we went and sat out, and she made Fiona wear her sweatshirt. So Fiona made a sand castle, but the waves kept crashing up and smashing it to pieces. And she got bored, and she looked at Mommy, who was kind of tired from running around all afternoon, and she'd fallen asleep, and she looked out and she thought, I don't see any undertow. I think I can go out there all by myself. I'm not afraid of a toad. So she took off her sweatshirt, and she started to walk into the water. And she got up to her knees, and she took a couple more steps, and she got up to her hips. And all of a sudden, she felt something pull at her toes. And she thought, I don't see any undertow. And then it pulled again. And then she started to, she was down on her butt. And another wave came and it started sucking her right out into the water. And she started to yell. Well, Mommy woke up in seconds. And she looked out. And there's Fiona being pulled out into the lake. Well, she didn't even bother taking off her jacket. She just bounded across the beach, and she was into the water. By the time she got to Fiona, she'd already been pulled under a couple of times, and it swallowed a great deal of that lake water, dirty brown lake water. And she still couldn't see the undertow. She couldn't see what was pulling her, but something was, and she was having a terrible time getting above the water. And then Mommy came and grabbed her, picked her up, threw her over her shoulder, raced out, put her on the beach, and patted her, and Fiona coughed up quite a bit of water and some of her lunch. Ugh. But she felt better, and Mommy wrapped her up in a towel and took her in the house and gave her a nice warm bath and tucked her in bed and made her some hot chocolate to warm up. And when she felt better, they had a long talk about water safety and what undertows were, and that it's something that occurs after a big storm, and the lake gets this ability to pull and suck things back into the lake, and it makes things very dangerous. And there are people that come from all over that think, I'm a man, I'm a teenage boy, I can do anything. And a little undertow isn't going to bother me. And one of those drowns at least every year on the Great Lakes from undertows because they underestimate the undertow. And it can be very dangerous. So after the little talk, Daddy came home that night, and he was also rather upset about the whole situation. And they had another little talk. The next morning, was the 1st of July. It was Canada's birthday. They had a lovely dinner. Everybody was glad Daddy was there. I forgot a picture. This is a picture of the undercoat. There's the undercoat. There's the undercoat. In case you wondered what he really looked like. So on the 1st of July, that night, Mom got up all the stuff to make s'mores. And Dad got the wood and made a bonfire on the beach. And it was the 1st of July. All the yachts from the basin of the Savo River Marina came in a circle way out on the lake, and they were all lit up in lights. And they made a beautiful half circle of glittering lights way out on the lake. And on the dock, they shot the rockets and fireworks high into the air, and they sparkled and they shone. And Fiona had never seen anything so beautiful in her life. She'd never been allowed to stay up that late before in her life. That in alone was a great thing. And a bonfire and s'mores. And fireworks. It was amazing. They soared up in the sky and they fell down and sparkled in the waves. And Fiona hugged her mommy and daddy, and she thought to herself, it was the very best day ever.
Invite a poet and writer and also an engineer from Ajax. He leads Arbab Kalam, which is defined as
Friends who write.
Friends Who Write in Canada, and they promote literary dialogue and poetry across the GTA. He writes in Urdu and English, and his Urdu collection, Meri Aankhon Se Dekho,
See Through My Eyes.
means See Through My Eyes, thank you very much for the translation, was published in 2006.
Alright, so कहते हैं कि करता है कोई दूर से उठ कर इशारे, करता है कोई दूर से उठ कर इशारे, बैठा हूँ अकेले मैं समंदर के किनारे. फैसल अजीम, please.
Thank you very much, PaxUnity, for arranging this event. And I'm happier for two reasons today, because there are two things that we see today. One, people who write in English and Urdu both, coming together and reading both. And the youth reading their creative pieces of writing. So these are the two things that we have been doing in Ajax for some time. We have been organizing events for doing both of these things. So thanks, Patrick, for coming today and accepting our invitation. So I'm going to read some short English poems first about poetry and coming together, and then in the end an Urdu poem. So first, the English poems. So there are two short poems. The topic is creativity. To recreate myself, whenever I lift the pen, it dispenses red ink, so thick that it blackens when it's dry. Thanks. And then second one is, let us keep creating the destruction of the end lines in the whirlpool of unseen roofs and walls falling upon the spinning heads. Thank you. Don't bother. You don't have to flower the air with sight full of eyes just for me. I play the flute only because that's all I can do. That I must, which I cannot stop doing. I must wave my soul to those small tunnels that stare at me through the windows of a blooming promise of dancing to the tune of my fingertips and shaping my breath into unknown lyrics. Thank you. Another short poem. It is and it's not. Too late. You warned me from losing what was already lost. It was in my hands, but I didn't have the grasp on what was not between my fingers and the palm. Gone it is, but not that feeling like the water that is dried, yet there is a coolness and dampness of what is there no more. Thank you. Now, before the Urdu one, there is another short poem about coming together, unity and coming together. The title is Junction of Tunnels. Tunnels get narrower, the light gets dim, the headroom between water and ceiling shrinks as the sailing eyes approach the drop zone to breathe the last smell of dampness where the tunnels meet just before they all fall from the peak. But that should not be the end of it. Let the tunnels reflect in one another, converge and breathe each other. The ends could lead a star. The narrowing, squint eyes of rays can dive deep, swim along the rush, and climb up the fall again, turning the fall into an ultimate rise. Thank you. And now in the last I will read one Urdu poem about humanity and compassion. The main everything like novel, right? And the background of it is, I guess you will probably see in the end. It is about an incident that happened like 1400 years ago. So hopefully you will see that on the screen again. So now I will start in Urdu. इंसानियत का मरहम, दुखियारन, दीवानी, जख्मी, संग दिलों के हाथों पत्थर खाती गुड़िया रोती जाए बैन करे, जिस्म पे कपड़े धज्जी धज्जी घाव पहने मट्टी ओढ़े खून के आंसू रोती जाए। कौन मगर वो जिस्म छुपाए, कौन मगर वो जिस्म छुपाए, जख्मों पर अपनी चादर के टुकड़े रखे, रूई के फाहे आंसू पोछे, उसकी रूह सिसकती रूह पे अब्र की ठंडी छांव बनाए, उसकी अज़ियत की आतिश को कौन बुझाए, कौन ज़मीन के दुख को समझे, आपसे बढ़कर कौन है मरहम, रहमत आलम मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम। थैंक यू।
In the dawn and high noon, the evening and the night, while the moon shines, it dawns on me. Please welcome Andrew Smith.
Say special thanks to Andrew because he has come with his wife. She's not feeling well, but she is here all the way. You know, she was the first one to be here in the event, and she is still here. So thank you so much to your wife. I really want to acknowledge that. Thank you.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Oh, you want to do that? As was mentioned in the intro, first I want to thank PaxUnity for the invite to be here. I always love the opportunity to have people listen to me. And I want to talk about how I really got into writing. As was mentioned, I'm a chartered accountant, professional accountant, and a owner of my own business. And all throughout life, I'm just this accounting guy. I wrote things about accounting, taxation, things that nobody here is interested in. And then what happened 7 years ago, my wife was hit with a stroke. And she was in the hospital for a total of 3 months. And she was in a coma for 1 week in a coma. And during that time, I have family throughout the Caribbean. I'm of Jamaican heritage. I have family in England, Ghana, Zimbabwe, throughout the States, Canada. And what happens when you're going through an illness in your family is that everybody's calling you and everybody wants to know what's going on. They don't realize that they're re-traumatizing you because you have to start from the beginning again, and then you have to talk about the story, and I was just in tears way too much. I didn't know men had emotions, but we do. And I showed all of them through my eyes. So what I decided to do was stop crying and write down daily diaries as to what was going on. And those daily diaries helped people understand what was happening, how her recovery was going. And also, when they went to talk to me, they didn't start from the beginning and what happened, and then re-traumatized me and made me cry. So that was good. And what happened in those daily diaries, they turned into a book. And the book, my first book was called Rebuilding Janice, and it was just those daily blogs that I wrote about her recovery. She had to learn to walk again, to talk. She had to learn everything all over again. And it was a very painful time, but it was, I look at coming out of it, and she's still here, and we're still together. We met when we were 12 years old. And this year, we're 60 years old. So we've been together for so long. You know, we've been married for 34 years. We have a 32-year-old boy, and we have man. And we have a 24-year-old man. So that's what it is. So, my first poem, I'm 5 books into. My first book was Rebuilding Janice. My other 4 books were books of poetry. My last book I released last November was Unconditional Love. My book that I'm going to release in this November is called Observations of a Spiritual Being in a Physical World. In order to get my wife better again, we changed our diet. We're vegetarian. We exercised. We changed everything about our lives. I didn't discover it, but we found Ashtanga Yoga, which we do 5 days a week. And that has been a blessing in terms of helping her with her balance, helping me with my mind and my spirit and everything. So hats off to Ashtanga Yoga. All right, so the first poem I'm going to do is, people always wonder, I write every day too, and people wonder, how do you write every day? And so I wrote a poem about writing every day. And it's called, This Is Why I'm Writing. And this is from my second book, which is called The Life in Motion and Movement Through Time. The other poem is from that book too, but I've kind of added to it since I published that book, and here it goes. This is why I'm writing. Purging, exploiting, leeching off my emotions, crying, bawling, keeping myself from falling, anger, pain, on the cusp of insane. Remember, forgive, so many reasons to live, thinking, feeling, open to my healing, happiness, release, though the pain will never cease, acceptance, at ease, finding my inner peace, spiritual enlightenment. This is why I'm writing. I breathe deeply, directing my breath to where I hurt. My heart is healing, my mind analyzing the lessons learned. My eyes are the witness, corroborating the things my ears have heard. My voice falls silent. I use my pen to express my pain. The ink that flows creates the words that keeps me singing. This is why I'm writing, and I will do so for all my remaining days. This is why I'm writing. Thank you. So my next poem is kind of self-explanatory. I mean, I've been with this woman from 12 years old, so. But a man never knows his woman. A woman always knows the man, and that's a sad thing. But through this, I've discovered, and I know who she is now. And in turn, I know who I am now. So this poem is called If I Were You, I am you. I want to know just who you are, the one who understands you. To be to you that open door, the first one that you reach for. What if it was possible to change who we are today? What would my views turn out to be? Would they change so radically? If I were you and you were me. If through your eyes I could see, how would others react to me? And my response, what would it be? Would it be so differently from the me that used to be? If I were you and you were me. It turns out I would be the same, even through this massive change. We do not think so differently. If I am you and you are me. In you there is joy and pain. You've been trained by adversity. Possess a love that is deep to match that of the great blue seas. This is who you are to me, as I am you and you are me. There ain't no ifs, no buts, no maybes. Rest assured that I am sure of who I am, of who you be, for I am you and you are me. Ain't no questions left unanswered. I got answers to all my questions. It is you have always been my reason, my motivation. Leaving me with no questions. I am fearless, got nothing to fear. No fear of love, no fear of you. You are all I want to do, for I am you and you are me. I am all in, I can't pull out. My pull-out game is weak, and it's you that I seek. So into you, get so much out of you, you changed my world, altered all my views. Once two, now we are one, because I am into you, and you are into me too. We just do whatever we do. I am you, and you are me. Tragedy struck, I lost you, I lost me. Where could you be, and what of me? I need you, searched for you, looked for you, but what I found was not you. You were lost, I was lost too. You didn't know you, I didn't know me, but I found the pieces to rebuild you. Solve the mystery of you, of me, through our stories, through our history. You became my mission. We embarked on a journey to find one another, to reunite with each other. You missed me, and I missed you. You found me, and I found you. Through the storm, we made it through, moving together the way we're supposed to. You remain close to me. We live now in a fantasy, as you are me, and I am you. Thank you.
Can we get another round of applause?
I am you and you are me. Wow. And you, what a wonderful poem. Thank you so much. All right. You know what? If anybody is interested in soccer, there is 0-0. Okay.
No one's winning.
No one is winning. But we are winning here. Everybody's heart. Thank you. Our next speaker is a chartered professional accountant. In fact, chartered professional accountant and I'm sorry, I'm just.
We're moving on. We just ended.
Yes,
we're moving on. Sorry.
Yeah, I just said that.
So we would like to take a moment to acknowledge Lisa Reynolds, who is the chair of the League of Canadian Poets. She's actually traveling today and is sad that she couldn't be with us, but has sent her warm wishes and is rooting for the success of our event today. So thank you, Lisa. She's also connected us to our next speaker, and I'm going to give it over to you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to invite Canadian poet and author. His poetry has appeared widely in Canadian and international literary journals, and he is recognized as a distinctive voice contemporary Canadian poetry. Please welcome Patrick Connor. Sorry.
Yes, it's just Dr. Aslan now.
Yes, okay. So let me read on about you, sir. We have a mix-up here. This has to happen. This is the beauty of the event, that you make mistakes and you fix them. All right. So, Dr. Salir Aslam. Dr. Salir Aslam is an engineer by profession and poet at heart, a McGill-trained scholar and an active voice in literary gathering across Canada. He has shared his work at Mushairas at home, and Dr. Salir Aslam.
Everybody is quiet now, so I won't take much time. Just my apologies to Patrick and those who do not understand Urdu. It will be purely in Urdu. So without going with extra wording, just continue to do poems, and I know that 5:30 is very close. So I can start with anything, but okay. So this is upon Umr ka hasil aur la hasil. I hope it's the same thing that you can see the translation. उम्र के पहली उम्र के 15-16 कच्चे पक्के बरसों को तो इस तकसीम से बाहर कर दो। पहली उम्र के 15-16 कच्चे पक्के बरसों को तो इस तकसीम से बाहर कर दो। बाकी रह गए 35-40, उनमें से भी 1/3 यानी फिर से 15-16 नींद को दे दो। क्या बचता है? सलमान से पहली उम्र के 15-16 कच्चे पक्के बरसों को तो इस तकसीम से बाहर कर दो। उनमें से भी 1/3 यानी फिर से 15-16 नींद को दे दो। क्या बचता है? 2 की ज़रब से 15-16 यानी 32 साल हटा दो। 2 की ज़रब से 15-16 यानी 32 साल हटा दो। 29, 30 या 31 रह गए। 29, 30 या 31 रह गए। बुग़्ज़ और नफ़रत, ज़ाम, तकब्बर और ऐसी सब मनफी सोचें सोच के उनकी गिनती कर दो और उनका एक लम्हा गिनकर धुना कर दो। और उनका एक लम्हा गिनकर धुना कर दो। इस हासिल को 29, 30 या 31 से फिर मनफी कर दो। याद अगर यहाँ साथ नहीं थे तो हालात का फैक्टर ले लो। याद अगर यहाँ साथ नहीं थे तो हालात का फैक्टर ले लो। 1/3 आसानी से और हटा दो। अब हासिल को राउंड करके 19-20 का आंसर लिख लो। 25 साल से जो काम के साल हैं, 25 साल से छुट्टियाँ काटो और घंटों की गिनती करके इन घंटों के साल बनाओ। 25 साल से छुट्टियाँ काटो, उन घंटों की गिनती करके और घंटों की गिनती करके इन घंटों के साल बनाओ। यानी 8 से 10 सालों को रोजी रोटी के खाते में 19-20 से मनफी कर। 8 नहीं तो 9-10 लिख लो। 8 नहीं तो 9-10 लिख लो। आसानी की खातिर उनसे कुछ अनदेखे साल निकालो। कंटिजेंसी ईयर्स। आसानी की खातिर उनसे कुछ अनदेखे साल निकालो। करते करते हंसते रोते जीते मरते 4 नहीं तो 6 सालों का हासिल होगा। यानी सारी उम्र का हासिल 4 नहीं तो 6 वर्षों का। यानी सारी उम्र का हासिल 4 नहीं तो 6 वर्षों का। लिख पाओ तो इन वर्षों को प्यार, मोहब्बत, फर्ज, इबादत, नज़्मों, गज़लों और सभी मस्बत जज्बों के हक में लिखो। लिख पाओ तो इन वर्षों को प्यार, मोहब्बत, फर्ज, इबादत, नज़्मों, गज़लों और सभी मस्बत जज्बों के हक में लिख दो। इतनी लंबी उम्र का हासिल कुछ जज्बे हैं हो पाए तो इनको जी लो, वरना मिट्टी हो जाने से पहले पहले तन्हाई में खुद को बुला लो। उम्र के लासिल होने का नौआ लिखकर अश्क बहा लो चश्मा। और दूसरी नज़्म है रवैये मान देते। मोहब्बत हो या चाहत के कबीले से जुड़ा कोई भी रिश्ता हो, मोहब्बत हो या चाहत के कबीले से जुड़ा कोई भी रिश्ता हो, कोई इल्मी हवाला हो, रवैये जब बुरे हों तो रवैये मार देते हैं। और हमें लहजों रवैयों की हज़ारों कत्लगाहों से कई रिश्तों की हुआलुदा लाशें रोज मिलती हैं। हमें लहजों रवैयों की हज़ारों कत्लगाहों से कई रिश्तों की हुआलुदा लाशें रोज मिलती हैं। ये ऐसी कत्लगाहें हैं जहाँ कातिल को हर आला हमारे याद देते हैं, रवैये मार देते हैं। और जहाँ पर बात करने से सुलझ सकती हैं 100 बातें, जहाँ पर बात करने से सुलझ सकती हैं 100 बातें, वहीं पर हम किसी झूठी अना के, नफरतों के और अदावत के अलम कुछ गाड़ देते हैं, रवैये मार देते हैं। और आखिरी बंद के यकीन मानो सबीर असलम, यकीन मानो सबीर असलम, हमारी जिंदगानी इस कदर मुश्किल न होगा। यकीन मानो सबीर असलम, हमारी जिंदगानी इस कदर मुश्किल न हो पाती अगर हम इन रवैयों का चलन पहचान लेते और लहजों को मुनासिब कर लिया होता। यकीन मानो सबीर असलम, हमारी जिंदगानी इस कदर मुश्किल न हो पाती अगर हम इन रवैयों का चलन पहचान लेते और लहजों को मुनासिब कर लिया होता। मुनासिब कर लिया होता तो अपने लबों से फूल झड़ते, बादलों से अमन चाहत की मुसलसल बारिशें होती। मगर अफसोस हम नफरत ज़दा लहजों रवैयों से फ़कत नफरत के आइनों को ही जंगार देते हैं, रवैये मार देते हैं। बहुत शुक्रिया।
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to invite Canadian poet and author. His poetry has appeared widely in Canadian and international literary journals, and he is recognized as a distinctive voice in contemporary Canadian poetry. Please welcome Patrick Commerce.
A poem is the sunrise after darkest night, an unexpected answer to much fervent prayer. It is grace extended from a neglected muse, only asking to be seen and shared, heard and felt. A poem is inspiration quickly recorded before lost, cut down, built up, cut down again, until it is ready to be read. Poetry is community. The essence and beauty of the community we have in the Greater Toronto Area is rooted in the richness of multiculturalism. I admire any religion which seeks after good for all mankind. I hope that my contribution to the community of PaxUnity is worthwhile to all who are here. I realize we're running short on time, so I will cut my presentation short to just a couple more short poems. Fatima moved me with her poem about bombs, so I'm going to read my poem called Bombs. The epigraph for that is from one of my heroes, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. True peace is not merely the absence of tension, it is the presence of justice. And out of solidarity for Fatima's poem and to everybody who is having to deal with bombs right now, I offer my poem. The bombs prefer to drop at night because they don't like to be seen before they are felt. It doesn't make sense that bombs would be afraid when they don't even know the people they kill. Many bombs have been dropped in the name of justice, but justice is safety, freedom, and courage. Justice is a creative force which nurtures. Bombs only know how to destroy. Some people like bombs. They especially like when bombs are far away. They somehow don't realize that a bomb dropped anywhere means none of us are safe. When the last bomb has dropped, and those who dropped them have lost all their power, there will be no more need for weapons, because justice will belong to us all. And for my final poem, I think this encapsulates the spirit of this event, ecumenism. In a church not of my original denomination, Pastor Steve gave the word of life to 4 people, as if we were 400. One day at work, Cash Ali saw I was having a bad day chasing fantasies and reminded me the most important thing is family and that we are one. The sacraments and rituals we learn are a necessary blessing, but the direction where they lead, the only judgment I will abide is that God loves us. Thank you, everybody.
Our next presenter is Salim. He is a distinguished Pakistani poet. He is known for his progressive writings and advocacy for freedom of expression. He now lives in Canada.
वो कहते हैं कि खुदा मेरी माँ की कमीज का दामन है, खुदा मेरी कमीज का दामन है जिसमें वो आंसू जमा करती है, या मेरे गिरेबान का टूटा हुआ बटन है जिसे इसने संभाल कर रखा है. Please welcome Suman.
Thank you. I'll be reading 2 poems and both of them are in Urdu and English. There's some translation available that excuse me for sorry, apologies for the people who cannot understand what you. दोनों हाथों के प्याले में सूरज भरकर मुंह पर दिन का छक्का मारा. दोनों हाथों के प्याले में सूरज भरकर मुंह पर दिन का छक्का मारा. आंख खुली तो चाय के कप में सुबह की फीकी धूप उंडेल के घूम था. जूतों के पहियों में आधे पैर अड़ाए, कार की सीट से खुद को बांधा और सड़क पर बहते बहते डाउनटाउन की झील के अंधे तहखाने के पेड़ उतरे. कार के माथे पर पार्किंग टिकट का तलक लगाकर एलिवेटर के ताबूत में दफ्तर के दरवाजे तक पहुंचा तो उसकी आंखें बंद थीं. कार के माथे पार्किंग टिकट का तिलक लगाकर एलिवेटर के ताबूत में दफ्तर के दरवाजे तक पहुंचा तो उसकी आंखें बंद थीं और रिसेप्शन काउंटर पर इतवार खड़ा था. दफ्तर के दरवाजे तक पहुंचा तो उसकी आंखें बंद थीं और रिसेप्शन काउंटर पर इतवार खड़ा था. नींद के गारत हो जाने की बेदारी का बोझ उठाए नीचे उतरा. आंखें मलते दिन ने धूप की पीली चादर आधी सड़क पे फैला दी थी और बाकी आधी पर अब तक ठंडा साया उड़ रहा. सामने वाली कॉफी शॉप की खिड़की में रखे चेहरे ने डार्क रोज की खुशबू भेज के कहा कि आओ खाली दिन में रंग भरते. घंटे भर में हमने दुनिया भर की बातें कॉफी के कप में घोली तो दिन का जायका बदल गया. धूप ने दरवाजा खटकाकर बाहर आने की दावत दी. हमने पहले स्टॉप से बस के सिनेमा हॉल का टिकट खरीदा. बस ने शहर की सड़कें नापी. हमने खिड़की के शीशे पर ग्रेड 3 के क्लासरूम से पहली मोहब्बत तक की फिल्म के टुकड़े देखे. एक दूजे का बाकी आधा जीवन जीते शाम लपेटी. रात गिरी तो शहर ने चुप की बुक्कल मारी. नींद में डूबे सैक्सोफोन से बहती धुन के टुकड़े सुनकर हवा में तैरती साइडवॉक पर थके हुए पैरों ने एक बेहंगम रक्स ईजाद किया. बाकी साल के हर इतवार का फुटपाथ पे रखे हैट में बाकी साल के हर इतवार के नाम का सिक्का डाल के पलटे. उसकी आंखों के शीशे में सामने जलते न्योन साइन के भीगते रंग थे. कार का चक्का चलते चलते घर पहुंचा तो थका हुआ था. अगला दिन पहले से कुछ ज्यादा खाली था और मेरे कमरे की खिड़की जाग रही. मौज in Pakistan, there is a phenomenon in Pakistan known as missing person. People go missing, nobody knows where they are. Usually, state agencies abduct them, nobody knows that. There are thousands of people who are missing for years and years. So, the missing persons क्या बात है? खुदा मेरी माँ की कमीज का दामन है जिसमें वो आंसू जमा करती है, या मेरे गिरेबान का टूटा हुआ बटन है जिसे उसने संभाल रखा है. खुदा मेरे बाप की लाठी है, जिसे टेकता हुआ वो बेनिशान कब्रों के दरमियान घूमता है। खुदा उस दुआ का मुरादा है जो मेरी बहनों के होठों पर घिसते घिसते खत्म हो रही। खुदा उस बेबसी का नोकीला टुकड़ा है जो मेरे भाइयों की मुट्ठी में भिंचकर टूटे और उनकी हथेली में धंसे। खुदा उस रोटी का निवाला है जो मेरी बीवी मेरे लिए रोज पकाती है और टुकड़े करके परिंदों को डाल देती। खुदा मेरी बेटी की भूख है जो अब उसे नहीं लगती। खुदा मेरे बेटे की जिद है जो अब वो नहीं करता। खुदा उन तस्वीरों में से एक है, खुदा उन तस्वीरों में से एक है जिन्हें मेरे दोस्त हाथों में लिए खड़े रहते हैं। वो कमरा है जिसमें सिर्फ मेरी आवाज़ गूंजती है। वो चीमटी है जो रोज मेरी बातें सुनने आती है। वो खामोशी है जो बहरा कर देती है, और वो चीख जो हथौड़े की तरह सर पर लगती है। मैं उसे पुकारता हूँ और वो जवाब नहीं देता। मुझे नहीं मालूम खुदा मेरी तरह लापता है या मेरे दोस्तों की तरह खत्म हो। थैंक यू।
So she has called Whitby home for more than 15 years and is a strong advocate for healthcare, community facilities, transportation, diversity, and inclusion. She represents the East Ward 4 in Whitby and is currently serving as Deputy Mayor. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Regional Councillor Marilyn.
All right. Good evening, everyone. थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा कुछ हम लोग खुश हैं, माशाल्लाह. We heard so many amazing poets. So good evening, everyone. Good evening. You know, everybody spoke so beautifully that we connected in a different level, not with our minds but with also our souls. So I really want to appreciate them, and I want to encourage all of them to give them a round of applause. As a lot of people know me, and I know that there's so many connections between each and every one of you, I met a new friend named Andrew, and we found out that our lives have somehow joined by one person. My book's editor and her book's publisher is the same. So I'm sure that there are many things that connect all of us in some way or form. From the lovely lady, I heard some children poetry. Thank you so much. From Andrew, thank you so much for reflecting your love and your wife's love. May we all love our spouses the same way that you do. But also from our brothers who we heard so many beautiful things. And thank you, Peter, for talking about the war that is being waged all over the world. I can tell you this. I came into politics and I still cringe when somebody calls me a politician. So I started on this journey of writing and creating art. No, I cannot write poetry, but I did author a book. And that book became a fruition of what I was going through with the agility in the society, with the uncertainty of the society. And I started writing about my journey when I moved to Canada. And I moved here in 2003 when I was only 21. I don't know what I thought, and I married a man, and thank God he still loves me. But when I moved here, it was the kindness and compassion of Canadians who brought me in their fold, taught me a thing or two, and that's who I am right now. We are a byproduct of Canada, the kind, the compassionate Canada, and that's what I wrote about. And that's what I see a collective today, a collective of PaxUnity by the leadership of Jaleel Bhai and Salim Bhai who invited me today. So let's give them a round of applause. So the last time I checked, the score was 0-0. Before any of the teams scores one on you, I don't want you to miss any of it. I can just leave this. You know, beyond politics and religion, we do a whole 9 yards of kindness. And what unites us is art. And I really appreciate the organizers to bring a collective today. I really do. It has really, truly inspired me to keep on doing what I do, and inspired by all of you. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate you inviting me. Although I don't have much to say, but if you can, reach out to me if something resonated with you, or look, check out my art. I do post regularly. I'd love to hear from all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Aliyah. All right, so we are running towards our last part of the program. But before that, I wanted to thank a bunch of people here. This program was not easy to arrange. This is a very first program of PaxUnity. As you know, PaxUnity is all about bringing people together. I conceived this program to hold in a way where we can bring people from this different walks of life, poets, storytellers, presenters, and also council member. So we all sit under one roof and enjoy and get to know each other. And with the same token, my zeal was that I bring our youth. There is a gap between us and our youth, which is known as the generation gap. When I was young, in my teenage, and never thought of this gap, I didn't know what is generation gap about. First of all, I would like to thank Mashal Saeed. She is my niece and my daughter, like girl, she's my daughter. I call her my daughter. When I said, Mashal, I say, I appreciate your daughter. She said, yeah, you do that, but you also say that you're my niece. I'm your niece. I said, okay, I'll do that. So she has done a wonderful job here with me. Without her, it was not possible. Then I would like to thank two most important people, Sarir Aslam Saab and Irfan Sattar, which started this with the help of Jameel Kamar Saab. He invited them at my house, and we sat together and we chalked out the program. So I'm so thankful to these people, and I'm so thankful to Fahim Saab. Fahim Saab was with me all the time from day one, and he has taken so many tasks. So thank you, Fahim Saab. And then I have Faisal Aziz Saab. He was also very helpful to me. He's a gem. He brought some presenters. Thank Nadeem Baig. He's standing on the camera. He spent so much time. He set it up. So thank you so much for being with me. She is the one behind. She was the one with me all the time, every day. She was the one scolding me for certain things. Don't do this, do that. So the program success is just because of her. So thank you. And I'm a little bit overwhelmed that my entire family is here. My both daughters, they also helped me so much. The donuts you enjoyed, it was brought by my daughter. So Rija and Marisha, they both are here. Thank you so much for being here. So lastly but not least, I would like to thank my parents. They are here. My mom, who is not very well all the time, but she managed to come here. So thank you. And a lot of my relatives are here. So thank you everyone for this event. So now.
Hello, I'm back again. My parents may or may not have forced me to do another poem. So this poem is about moving, and it's I actually moved to Canada 2 years ago. I moved from Saudi Arabia, and I still miss it to this day, and I wrote a poem about it. So it's called Moving. Moving. I've only ever moved once, yet it was the most grievous experience I've ever had. Leaving the things you bought and kept with such care, like that one dusty brown bear, not knowing how they'll be kept. Maybe a new piece for the dining room, but for us, a memory to be forgotten soon. Maybe someone taking these is starting their journey while we're just ending ours. I'll miss the way those Fridays felt, laying on my bed, staring at the ceiling above my head, the ceiling that watched me grow up. From a toddler, serving my parents air in teacups that the floor would always be mad at since I dropped them all the time, to a 12-year-old who likes to make poems that rhyme in her free time. The things we collected, stored, and treasured, cherished, even though they were lost and captured. The next moment, it's all debris, and the only thing you have is memory. What about the next owners of this house? Will it be poorly decorated or decorated like a penthouse? What if they find the mark promise I used to make. It hurt enough to leave this house, the one which had seen my most vulnerable times, but it hurt even more to realize all the people I'm leaving behind. I may miss the people I've met here, but I've missed the memories even more. The times at my neighbor's house, staying there late, cracking jokes and playing games, not knowing how much this time will be missed. We just go on with our day. Spending time at the cafe with my friends, ordering my iced vanilla frap with a half shot of coffee. What if I won't find that drink again and just find something frothy? I'll always remember the late nights at the walking track, cycling my thoughts away, not knowing that one day I'll have to pack and all my love will be shipped away. Clinging on to these memories seems nostalgic, but unwrapping the cover reveals it's just melancholy. This all feels tragic, but I've come to realize slowly. Maybe some things are for the better. If I hadn't moved, I wouldn't have had such good friends and exposure to the world more than I can pretend. Maybe, just maybe, I was meant to move. So I guess moving isn't too bad after all. Thank you.
Thank you, Fatima. And I forgot to mention a few people. One of them is Mr. Muzaffar Ahmed. He is also such a helpful person from day one. He's been helping me. And there are some volunteers who are doing work outside and inside. Thank you, everyone. I don't remember their names, but I would like to acknowledge them for being here and supporting the event. And all my supporters of this event, which is City Pizza, Mr. Executive, State Farm, from there was Mr. Bhasha, and then we also like to thank Enbridge for supporting our event. And I also like to thank one special guest who is here from all the way from USA, and she's been helping us since she is here. She's been traveling, and her name is Farhana. Really thankful for her grateful that she is here and she helped our loss. Thank you. So now we'll have a small certificate ceremony. So I'll request Maliha Shahid Saiba to please come here so we can do our ceremony, and we'll just call upon one by one. And then you guys can stay here so at the end we can take a picture.
It will be a balance. Okay, and then you come here. Okay.
Okay, thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you so much.
अपना ख्याल रखिएगा।
Yusuf, please. I would really appreciate it. Sir. It was excellent. Thank you so much.